to In My Mug episode 293 on Monday the 23rd of June 2014. I am your host Stephen Layton. Welcome to this new edition of In My Mug and welcome to this new edition of the news. Okay, so a great time in Rimini last week. Had lots of fun. Well done to everyone, but a very special well done to Maxwell from Kelowna and Smalls in Bath, who was competing for the UK, who finished 5th overall. And then we got Pizzi from 3FE on making the semi-finals and doing us super proud with the Ethiosar. Also very special well done to Costa Rica, France and Hungary, who all used us or narrowly missed out on semi-finals, but and a super well done to Japan and Hidi and his great performance, and Capachu as well from in fact everybody. So yeah, and I'm off to Brazil tomorrow. Yeah, and I'm obviously gonna, it's a country that we buy a lot of coffee from, and I wouldn't at all be going to watch football or anything like that. Not at all. Actually, I'm there. It'd be rude not to catch a game. Everybody needs some downtime, but I'm going to Cachoeira, Paseo, Carmo, Inglaterra. I'm going to have lots of fun. And Ugandan. Now, we have a Ugandan coffee on the site. Yes, you did hear right. Ugandan. It is a very unique coffee. I am not sure if it's going to be in my mug. I need you to tell me. So if you want it, you need to email me, you need to tweet me, you need to put things in the comments below. If not, then it'll just be on the site. There is enough to do in my mug. But have a look at the descriptor and you tell me if you want it. And that was the news. So now it's time for Focus On. So this week's Focus On is going to be on Catuai. Catuai is a dwarf hybrid variety of plant. It doesn't grow very high, hence it being a dwarf, and it's its most obvious distinguisher. Selected by the Instituto Agronomico in the 1950s and 60s in Brazil, it now accounts for nearly 50% of the coffee grown in Brazil, and is used widely across Central America. The coffee we have this week is actually not from Brazil. Catuai is a high-yielding coffee plant, resulting between a cross with Mundanovu and Yellow Caturra, and it was found that the fruit doesn't fall off easily, which helps in places with high winds. It doesn't need windbreakers because it's so small, again helps with high winds and stops things competing against it. It's a super interesting and tasty coffee that is a little susceptible to pest, but not so much, and disease to a moderate level, and it has links with Caturra and Mundanovu, and that is that's our Focus On. I kind of like doing varietal Focus Ons. I haven't done one for a while. Felt like a good time to do it. So the coffee that we're talking about this week is from Nicaragua, and it's called Finca Escondida, which is close to Lake Apanapas, which you will see in the map bit, near to the town of Jinotega. The straight translation from Spanish to English of Escondida is hidden, and that is because the farm is properly hidden. It's very near to the road, but it's covered by forest and trees, which makes it just kind of blend into the side of the mountain. It's a very, very new farm. In fact, the first trees were planted in 2006. And was very carefully laid out by the Maresh family to work out which plots would go where, what would be where, but also gave them lots of control over the varietals there. So different varietals, different lots, things like that. And they've also separated it up into different days pickings for lots and things like that. And they looked at things like the temperature, sun exposure, soil quality, and really had a head start, being a new farm, of being able to do that, because they started with a blank piece of paper. The varietal is Catuai, as we talked about in the Focus On, which you don't see so much of outside of Brazil. I know I said 50% of Brazil is, but you don't see it that much, and particularly Nicaragua. But it was selected just because it's on a fairly windy part of the mountain. And as I talked about, with it being dwarf and with the fruit not coming coming off the tree easily. It's particularly suited to those weather conditions on the farm. It just is absolutely perfect, which results in a high yield, a consistent cup, and a really tasty cup. The Catuai that we talked about grows best at above 800 metres. Now this is like 1,100-1,200 metres above sea level, so it's really handy that the kind of just of where it is, and I say it's just ideally suited for a farm like this. You don't come across that so often, where the coffee that is planted on the farm is really thought about for the farm. A lot of the time it's a knee-jerk reaction to the market, so that all of a sudden, people want to buy geisha, so people plant geisha. All of a sudden people want to plant bourbon, so the people want bourbon, so they plant bourbon. And it's nice to see something that was planted to increase the yield, to make it tasty, and to make sure that the cup quality was there. So what else should I talk about with this farm? Oh, obviously from the Moresh family. Now the Moresh family are very well known to us here. We've had them in this room. I've had them talking on the farms and stuff. Look after their workers particularly well, making sure that they are well accommodated, fed, healthcare, schooling, and this farm is absolutely no different. It's a little bit, it looks like on the map, but it's very close to Limoncello, which is the bigger farm that they have. Well, actually Placidos is the bigger farm, but this farm, it looks like it's close, but it's the other side of the mountain, so it's actually quite a drive around. It's actually closer to Milagros, which is a coffee that we exclusively buy for 3FE in Ireland. And actually incredibly close to San Jose. San Jose is just a separate part of the mountain, and again, which you will hopefully see on the map bit in the moment. So we should look at the figures. So it comes from Nicaragua. The farm is called Escondida, Finca Escondida. The municipality is Lupilo, and near to the town of Ginetega and the department of Ginetega. The area is 95 manzanas of the farm, of which 92 is coffee, and 3 it's a protected area, so protected wildlife area. Elevation, as I said, is 975 metres up to 1230. The mixtures of varietals I have on the farm is Bourbon, the Longbury, Catura, and Catuai, and it goes through like the process is fully washed, but it actually has a very small dry fermentation period as well before it is fully washed. So we should go and see the wonderful map bit. Hello everybody and welcome to this week's map bit. We're going up into the space. We call it the space because space is just so big. And we're looking down upon the UK. Which way will we go? We're going to go left because we always go left most of the time. And we're going to go down into Central America. We have so many great Central Americans. We are going to spend a lot of time here over the coming weeks, and I make no apologies for that whatsoever because we have some delicious coffee lined up. And some of those delicious coffees are from Nicaragua. So we should look. There are about 1.1 million people that travel to Nicaragua every year. It's interesting, isn't it? 1.1 million people. And it's not a big touristy place, so that's kind of cool. We're going to go down, and we're going to see Escondida, Milagros, and Limoncello triangle. But we are interested in Escondida, so we're going to kind of zoom down to Escondida like so. And then you can just see the lake there in the forefront, and I'm sure I'm going to get a better lake picture in a minute, but it's really hidden from the road. So it's very close to the road, but very hidden. And there we go. Look at that. So that's the lake. I love that lake. So the lowest point is the Pacific Ocean, and the highest point is 2,438 metres, which for a lot of countries isn't that high. And there's a little topography picture that gives you a good idea. And compared to Honduras above it, it's not super high. But there's Honduras there, look. So there's the border, and there we go, wee, back again. And back to that view there of that lake. I actually looked at, on this lake, we're going to go to the island here. I looked at buying that island there, the one straight in front of us, $10,000. That was the map bit. Good map bit? I hope so. Now we should go do Roland's Daft Fact of the Week. I know it's a fact I've used before, but the most popular sport in Nicaragua is baseball, not that stupid football. Get off my television! Roland doesn't like football. Okay, I'm going to whap you on pause. I'm going to go and make tasty, delicious drinks, and I'll be back with you in just a second. Okay, so I'm back. I'm going to go straight into the espresso. Straight in. Now, the thing I like most about this coffee is that it's so different to all the other Nicaraguans we have. Most of them tend to be quite sweet, controlled acidity, tight. This is so different. This is it is limey, and there's a lovely raspberry in there, but not so good in the espresso because of that. It's a little bit too sharp. It's a little bit kind of like, I'm going to dive into the milk. Okay, so in the milk, it's a little bit sweetened by the milk. It's a little bit more, and it still punches through. It's probably a better cappuccino than it is espresso, but this is where we're really going to like it. So we are going to my new mug that I bought myself as a present. Breaking Bad. So by the time this goes out, I'll have watched the final series of Breaking Bad. So if you want a spoiler for the next one, please feel free to tune in. No, I really like Breaking Bad, and every time I travel anywhere, I always watch it, and I have one episode left to watch on my way to Brazil. So in the brewed, that acidity is there. Zesty, zingy, bright, limes, raspberry, boom, boom, boom. But actually what happens in the brewed, you also get this delicious caramel. It just sits underneath. And once that acidity disappears, you just got this sweet, lovely mouthfeel of melted caramel. It gives you a beautiful body that kind of misses the espresso a little bit. It is a much better brewed coffee for me than it is espresso, and it's a much better cappuccino than it is espresso, but it's a much better brewed coffee than it is cappuccino. And there we go. That's my take on this one. All that is left to do is to thank you very much for joining me, as always. And do remember, life is too short to not go to the World Cup and watch some football. Or is it coffee? No, life's too short for bad coffee.